In 2013, for the first time, the legislature of Minnesota included language in the Education Finance Omnibus Bill stating that the Minnesota Youth Council shall provide advice and recommendations to the legislature and governor on issues affecting youth.
You know, we're always going to the adults and saying, what is it that the kids need? But it's really the youth that need to speak out and say, this is what I'm lacking and this is what will help me be successful.
Thank you for coming for the District 8 Youth Summit here in Duluth, Minnesota.
In 2013 and 14, Youth Council members and their adult partners are holding a series of summits in each congressional district across the state to identify issues facing today's students and develop plans of action to meet these challenges.
I'd like to have the kids more involved in their community and getting them out there and seeing what other opportunities and things that they can do to help out their community.
We actually did a survey last year and we sent it out to kids in the schools from all the 8 congressional districts, and the top 3 were crime and gangs, drug and alcohol abuse, and then bullying.
I want it to be more of a safer place because I know a lot of people that avoid school because they think they're going to get beaten up.
We really want you to examine what your school looks like. So what would you say to a newcomer, how the school feels? Does it feel safe? Does it feel not good?
Luckily, the problems before us do have solutions. And I'm grateful that we have so many problem solvers in the room today.
A lot of issues are very universal across Minnesota, and I think that was the really cool thing of I know Southwest did an anti-bullying campaign right now that's going on, and I think that's a really great measure that they're doing at their school, and I'm sure that it can be implemented in other high schools around the Twin Cities or in Minnesota.
I think with the bullying campaign, they're focusing more on that sort of students talking to each other and understanding each other, but I always look at it from like a whole system and how can we listen to youth to fix that.
For me, I love being able to see youth having an opportunity to impact their futures and their educations, and for the generations to come after them as well.
Welcome to the Grab Minnesota Metro Community Summit. This is a summit of experts, meaning you. We have young people from local schools and nonprofits and adults representing schools and community-based organizations who are working together with youth every day to build on their strengths and help them be successful, especially in respect to graduating from high school with a diploma and getting prepared for college success.
It's really important that we hear youth perspectives on this issue. Participants will be organized into 4 circles with individuals designated as speakers, listeners, and synthesizers. Near the end of the summit, we will include small groups of individuals developing a collective message to be synthesized across groups. A collective message and call to action will be developed today. This call to action will be shared with key decision and policymakers after the summit, the Minnesota legislature, school boards, advocacy groups, foundations, and businesses that can facilitate change and support improving graduation rates for all Minnesota students.
AT&T is very proud to be a sponsor for today's summit. At a time when American business and America's economy is competing with fast-growing, high-tech companies around the globe, we need to invest in education like never before.
Well, my boss happens to be the governor of the state of Minnesota, and that's Mark Dayton. And I get to advise him on all education policy across the state of Minnesota. And the thinking that you've done just now in your groups this past hour has been fabulous, and I've been listening to that.
In a really clean, concise, quick statement, just let us know what's one piece that you want to make sure gets added into the call to action. Okay, let's start it off on this side of the room.
You know, you got to keep it pushing because at the end of the day, you're not going to be able to get on in life without getting a high school diploma.
Reach out to other students and pay attention to students not on track. They need as much attention as students that are on track.
A positive social support impacts accountability, meaning that whatever you let people into your life, whether it's positive or negative, that's what's gonna impact of your actions.
And we felt like the key strategies were staffs and students should also have a good relationship.
Partner students with caring adults who connect students with opportunities and help them believe that achieving success is possible.
More support for students that are at risk at not graduating or reaching their goals.
Give the students like some hope and tell them, well, if you do this good, think about the future. If you can get a nice house and get a nice job, so you should keep going and maybe you'll get these things instead of telling them, well, if you don't go, then you're just never going to be anything in life.
Having a space to talk about the issues that they're facing in school and life and just in general because, you know, everyone needs time to vent, and
talk about what they're dealing with, and that would help a lot within schools.
In our group, we talked about intentional relationship building in order to instill hope, identify strengths, and foster resourcefulness.
Not all students are going to go to college, and that there are different routes that students can take after high school, but to make sure that people in the community and people that are important to them, that they understand that and that they respect that.
So schools should be a place where students and teachers understand each other and build relationships.
We thought the most important was to evaluate educators on community development and engagement, not just test scores.
My group talked about how to be good to each other and raise awareness of kindness and have a relationship with your students and your teachers.
The 8 district meetings will culminate in a statewide summit in June 2014, involving youth council members, their mentors, and members of the legislature.